Big news coming out of West Africa. Burkina Faso is on the blink of a massive transformation, and it all centers around a groundbreaking $200 million tollgate project led by the fearless and visionary Ibrahim Traoré.
Something unexpected is unfolding on the roads of Burkina Faso, and it begins with a toll booth. Not the kind you'd expect, though. No attendants in faded uniforms, no long lines of drivers digging for coins, no crumpled receipts, just silent machines, blinking sensors, and steel arms that rise without a word. What's happening here is more than a technical upgrade. It's a quiet, radical experiment, one that's starting to change how a nation thinks about infrastructure, money, and power. For years, toll stations across Burkina Faso were places of frustration. Drivers paid their dues, but the roads didn't improve. Revenue reports from the Ministry of Infrastructure rarely matched what people saw. Potholes deepening, bridges aging, highways fading under the sun. Rumors swirled, toll collectors skimming off the top, fake receipts, missing records. But nothing changed. Corruption, as always, felt like a fog, thick, obvious, and impossible to grab. So the government tried something new. It didn't just swap workers for machines. It dismantled the entire system and started again, this time with a single goal: make every toll franc count. At the heart of the redesign was the Faso Roadways and Services Bureau, FSRB, a state-run agency that decided to build smart from the ground up, without foreign contractors, international consultants, or IMF road loans. Everything, from the software to the sensors, was crafted with local realities in mind. The result? A chain of intelligent toll stations powered by RFID technology, weight sensors, surveillance cameras, automatic barriers, and a live central monitoring system based in Ouagadougou. These toll booths don't just collect money. They analyze, flag, verify, audit, and report in real time. The rollout was cautious. 3 locations were chosen as the first test: Boutana, Tintalou, and Ouagadougou. These weren't random picks. Each spot sat on a strategic corridor. Boutana links remote agricultural zones to the capital. Tintalou handles regional trade from neighboring countries. Ouagadougou sits near a smuggling-prone border zone. If the tech could hold under pressure in these areas, heavy traffic, cash leaks, old habits, then it could hold anywhere. And it did. From day one, the impact was visible. No more haggling over change. No more handwritten logs. No more sleepy attendants leaning on counters. Now, when a driver approaches, the process is instant. An RFID chip embedded in a tag on the windshield is scanned automatically. The car's ID, toll class, and payment status are verified in milliseconds. If all is clear, the barrier lifts. If not, the vehicle is redirected to a digital review lane. No shouting, no confusion. In just a few weeks, revenue collection doubled. Not because toll prices were raised, but because nothing was getting lost. The system accounted for every vehicle, every transaction. And people noticed. For the first time, receipts matched reality. But maybe the most powerful part of this story is what wasn't visible. No Western bank logos, no aid flags, no pilot program disclaimers. This wasn't a proof of concept funded from abroad. It was Burkina Faso's own solution, built with regional partnerships, local engineers, and a stubborn commitment to independence. The software wasn't imported from Geneva or Paris. It was written in-country, tailored to match Burkina Faso's roads that flood in the rainy season, routes that serve both cargo trucks and motorcycles. The designers didn't try to force a foreign mold onto a West African reality. They shaped the system from the soil up. That's not just innovation, that's sovereignty. Of course, it's still early. The system hasn't been tested against cyber attacks or large-scale sabotage, but so far, it's held up. More importantly, it's restoring something that decades of dysfunction nearly erased: trust. Drivers now see what they're paying for: a working system, a light that turns green, a gate that opens on cue, a receipt they can actually use. It may not sound like much, but in a country where public services have long been synonymous with frustration, this kind of smoothness feels revolutionary. Still, not everyone sees steel and sensors. Some see something deeper: a transformation of the state's nervous system, a shift from invisible corruption to visible control. That control runs through wires and code, not people. It means no individual can tweak numbers or lose payments. Each booth is monitored. Each entry has a GPS timestamp. Each payment is matched to vehicle records. And all of it feeds into a central dashboard where analysts can see patterns, good or bad, across the network. And then there's the question nobody's asked out loud just yet. If the toll booths are now this smart, what else might they be used for? That's a question for later. For now, the focus remains on what's been achieved, and it's significant. The success of these 3 test sites is already leading to expansion. More stations are being planned, and regional governments are watching closely. A few have already sent teams to observe. Not because they're curious about traffic, but because they see the big idea underneath, that it's possible for an African government to build modern infrastructure, without debt, without donors, and without compromise. In a region where so many countries outsource their futures, this simple toll system is doing something radical. It's proving that progress doesn't have to come with strings attached. The moment a vehicle rolls up to one of Burkina Faso's new toll stations, something remarkable happens, and the driver doesn't even notice. No waving hand, no muttered toll amount, no fumbling for change. Instead, a silent system, buried under asphalt and hidden in overhead beams, springs to life. Sensors scan the vehicle. Cameras log the license plate. An RFID tag is read in milliseconds. And just like that, the car is cleared. The gate lifts. The road continues. It looks simple, but behind this quiet choreography is one of the most advanced traffic management setups on the continent. These aren't just booths with cameras. Each toll station functions like a miniature control hub, packed with tools that can detect fraud, weigh vehicles, spot overloaded trucks, track traffic spikes, and even flag suspicious behavior in real time. And the most impressive part? The entire system is run from inside the country. At the FSRB Command Center in Ouagadougou, a team of engineers, most of them young, trained through new national programs, monitor data dashboards round the clock. Their screens flicker with vehicle counts, toll payments, alert flags, and GPS routes. It's a live map of the country's most active transport arteries, not built in Silicon Valley or Zurich, but in West Africa. Every toll paid is recorded with time, location, and photographic proof. Every station is cross-checked daily against its expected volume. If something's off, even by 5%, the system raises a flag. No paper logs, no excuses, no room to hide. But beyond the tech, the design carries something even more surprising: compassion. Instead of building a system that only works for the formal economy, cargo trucks, business cars, or government fleets, Burkina Faso made a bold decision to build fairness into the machine. Take motorcycles. In many countries, they're seen as nuisance traffic. But in Burkina Faso, they're lifelines. Students, farm workers, market vendors. Motorcycles are how people get to school, bring vegetables to town, or rush to a clinic. So the new toll system doesn't charge them. The machine scans the vehicle, recognizes the two-wheeler format, and automatically lifts the gate. No toll, no paperwork, no debate. Not because someone pleaded for a waiver, but because the system was told to respect the poor. That same thinking applies to other vehicles, those serving humanitarian, medical, or agricultural purposes. Instead of relying on stamped papers or verbal promises, each vehicle type is registered with the FSRB database and gets a specific tag. If the car qualifies for reduced or waived fees, the system knows. No negotiation, no bribes, no human interpretation. Even low-income drivers running informal transport between rural villages and towns are included. These private vehicles, often old vans or pickups, form the backbone of Burkina Faso's internal trade network, and they now benefit from a policy called mobility access tiering. Drivers in this category get partial toll refunds credited through mobile money every month. It's not charity, it's smart economics. If you want food to reach the cities and produce to reach the market, you don't punish the people who keep wheels turning. You support them. And that's exactly what this system does. In most places, high-tech upgrades come with exclusion. The rich get smoother service, the poor get left behind. But Burkina Faso took the opposite route, proving that inclusion isn't an afterthought. It can be structural, and it doesn't end at the toll gate. The people behind this system, the coders, the technicians, the analysts, aren't foreign consultants flown in for the launch. They're Burkinabe. Many are under 30. They've been trained inside the country, hired through government certification programs, and are now running one of the most sensitive pieces of national infrastructure. In a country where youth unemployment has long hovered at crisis levels, this shift is huge. It's not just job creation, it's skill creation. It's a rare model where the state isn't offering handouts, it's offering meaningful modern work. So who owns this system? Not just the government, not just the engineers or the drivers, but the public itself. The kids riding on bikes, the mothers transporting goods, the students who now see a future in code, not just paperwork. The system moves cars, yes, but it also redistributes opportunity. Still, no system is perfect, and behind the quiet success, there's a deeper tension starting to surface. Because once a country builds something this powerful, the next question is, who decides how it gets used? The toll booths are no longer just gates. Their eyes, their ears, their networks. Every car logged, every route mapped, every payment traced. All of that data adds up. And while the current government has used it for transparency and service delivery, not everyone trusts what might come next. As one civil society group quietly asked, what happens when the system is no longer run by people who respect the limits? That question, and the fears it holds, are exactly what Part 3 will explore. Because a digital road is still a road, and it leads somewhere. The only question is where. Every time a car crosses one of Burkina Faso's new toll stations, something more than money is exchanged. A license plate is scanned, a time is stamped, a location is logged. That data, invisible to the driver, is immediately sent to a central server. In seconds, the state knows a vehicle has moved from Butena to Tintilou, what kind of vehicle it was, how long it took, and how it paid. It may not seem like much, but over time, this adds up to something profound, a living map of the nation's movement. And that's where the celebration begins to meet its shadow. What began as a solution to toll fraud, a project to fix broken infrastructure, has quietly become a digital window into people's lives. Not through spy drones or facial recognition, but through something far simpler, routine movement. There's no evidence that the system is being misused, no reports of targeting, no mass surveillance orders. In fact, the current administration has gone out of its way to tout the system's transparency, even inviting civil society observers to monitor certain protocols. But that's exactly why now is the time to ask the hard questions. Because the stronger a system gets, the more tempting it becomes to use it for more than it was built for. If a future government, less accountable, more paranoid, were to take over, what could they do with this data? They could track political opponents, monitor protest routes before gatherings even begin, flag vehicles that frequent certain areas, restrict travel to dissident zones, or quietly build profiles of citizens based on movement. None of these things are happening, but all of them are now technically possible. And that's the trade-off Burkina Faso faces. Efficiency has a price. Sometimes that price is visibility. What makes this system powerful is also what makes it fragile. It never turns off. Every license plate, every border crossing, every timestamp, it's all there, stored, processed, and potentially weaponized if the rules change. Already, civil society groups have started asking the right questions. Who audits the logs? Is there an independent review body? What happens when the system makes a mistake? Can a citizen appeal a toll charge, a travel flag, or a digital restriction? Who owns the data, the state or the people? These aren't anti-technology questions. They're pro-accountability ones, and they matter more now than ever, because beyond the servers and code lies another, quieter risk: outsourcing. While the core of the system is built locally, parts of it depend on regional tech vendors, third-party contractors, and open-source tools. If even one software update comes from a compromised source, the whole platform becomes vulnerable. That's how data leaks happen. Not from spies, from forgotten plugins, unpatched firewalls, or a single exposed port. So while Burkina Faso has built something impressive, something uniquely its own, it must now defend that system from the same global risks that richer countries face: data misuse, vendor compromise, and mission creep. Yet despite these very real dangers, the transformation is still worth watching. Because it's not just about tech, it's about identity. For decades, African infrastructure projects followed a familiar script: external funding, imported hardware, outside contractors, foreign timelines. What Burkina Faso has done, quietly without fanfare, is flip that script. This toll system isn't just a way to collect money. It's a declaration that Africa doesn't always need help, that sovereignty can be built in code, that digital doesn't have to mean dependent. And others are noticing. Officials from Niger, Togo, Benin, and even Ghana have toured the new sites, not just to admire the tech, but to study the philosophy behind it. Imagine a West Africa where toll booths talk to each other across borders, where trade routes are digitized, where smuggling gets harder, where food moves faster, where every country contributes its own tech. Instead of renting someone else's, it's not a fantasy, it's a blueprint. And it ties directly into the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, a framework designed to boost intra-African trade. But for that to work, the roads must talk, the gates must talk, the data must flow. Burkina Faso may have just taken the first real step, but there's another layer to this success that no dashboard can measure: public trust. For years, the average Burkinabe expected government systems to be broken, to ask for bribes, to delay, to lose paperwork. But now, something small has shifted. Drivers pass through a gate. The barrier lifts. The receipt prints. No drama, no delay, no lies. That reliability, machine-made though it may be, begins to repair something deeper: belief. Belief that the state can work. Belief that public systems can be fair. And belief, most importantly, that citizens don't always have to pay extra just to be treated decently. And with trust comes something more powerful: dignity. That dignity, once restored, can reshape everything. It can fuel compliance. It can grow tax bases. It can reduce corruption. It can give governments the courage to say no to bad contracts, to exploitative loans, to development traps masked as generosity. That's how sovereignty is built, not through slogans, through systems. Still, none of this is guaranteed. The toll stations are automated, but the future they enable is not. If this network is to remain a tool of service, not surveillance, it must be protected, not just with code, but with ethics, transparency, and law. There must be watchdogs. There must be whistleblower protections. There must be clear red lines on what the data can be used for and what it cannot. Because while technology can free a nation, it can just as easily cage it. For now, Burkina Faso is walking a bold path. It has not waited for permission. It has not begged for funding. It has not settled for cheap copies of foreign blueprints. It has built something original, local, and powerful. But the real test isn't technical, it's moral. Will this tool empower the people, or will it slowly turn on them? Only time and the choices of leaders will decide that. What do you think? Is Burkina Faso building the future, or quietly creating a digital state of control? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this story made you think, like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into African transformation, Black culture, and untold stories. Until next time, stay informed, stay aware,